Melody walked quickly down the hall, pass in hand. She had to go to the bathroom bad, it had just come on her all of a sudden, too. She waved hello to a few of her friends as she went. After what seemed an eternity, she made it to the girls' restroom. She was in a stall in a blink. She closed the door and tried unzipping her jeans, finding the zipper staying steadfastly shut. "Huh?" she asked out loud. She tried them again, but the zipper was jammed. Panicked, her hands moved to her belt. It wasn't her normal belt though, she didn't remember putting this one on. She looked down at it, finding it to be a small but strong chain with a heart-shaped lock in the middle. She pulled on it, but the belt wouldn't budge. She tried gripping the sides of her jeans and pulling, but the belt and zipper held them on tightly. She heard someone else come in, accompanied by a strange but familiar rustling sound. They got into the stall next to her, and quickly sat down. Melody heard a loud, gurgling fart, followed by a muted but clear hissing sound. What came next was unexpected. She gasped out loud as she began to fill her pants. Her jeans. She was wetting and messing her own pants. Grace looked down at the pants she was wearing. If that was indeed what they were. They were white, and made out of soft, crinkly plastic on the outside. They were incredibly soft, yet firm at the same time. On the inside, she could feel the plush, thick, absorbent material of a diaper against her skin. There were childish prints and cartoons drawn around her butt and crotch, where a normal diaper would be. Capri diaper was written in cartoon letters all the way around the elastic waistband. The pants were very thick, keeping her legs spread far apart in any stance. She looked at her butt in the mirror in the bathroom, seeing how bulky the pants really were. She hadn't been able to get them off. The waist was cinched tightly by a small chain inside it. The bottom of the pants were secured in a similar fashion. There was no way out of these. She tugged at the pants, losing her grip in its deceptive cushiness. The crotch of the pants was quite wide, and went down to a little above her knees. She suspected these diaper pants could hold a lot. Grace turned around as she heard one of the stall doors clatter open. Tiffany came waddling out, her skirt hiked up revealing messy diapers. From her look of disarray, it looked like she'd been trying to get them off, but without much success. "What happened to you?" Grace asked. "I could ask the same of you," said Tiffany. They both turned to see Melody walk out of the next stall, face ashen. The front of her jeans were soaked, and they both noticed a pronounced, brown bulge in the seat of her jeans. "I pooped my pants," she stammered. "I wet and messed my own pants." Courtney looked around first period health, smiling and nodding at all of her friends in the class. She noticed Melanie was smiling despite herself. She was pretty happy for some reason. Maybe it was something to do with this weekend, she thought. Courtney turned her attention to the teacher as she began to speak. "All right, class. Welcome back. It's a Monday, so we won't be doing anything too bad, but today we'll be talking about child care. Specifically, infants. Diaper changes, feedings, general things on how to take care of an infant. Now, has anyone here ever changed a diaper before?" A few students raised their hands, Melanie included. She smiled to herself since she was currently wearing a diaper. "Well then, I'll need one of you to demonstrate a proper diaper change. How about you, Melanie?" Melanie nodded at the teacher and moved towards the front of the class. She swayed her hips back and forth as she walked, waving off her padded, yet attractive butt. Few of the male students failed to notice. "I'd be happy to, Mrs. Henderson," she said as she reached the front of the class. "So you want me to change the baby?" "Yes, Melanie, that would be good," replied the teacher. Courtney began to feel funny. After Melanie had said the word baby, she felt detached. She frowned, but didn't feel her lips move. In fact, she couldn't really move. Her movements were clumsy and unrefined. She tried to speak, but only childish gibberish came out. She fell out of the chair and landed on the ground with a hard thump. She began to cry like a little baby. "Oh, what's the matter, Courtney?" cooed Melanie. "Do you have a boo-boo?" The class laughed at the banter, amused. "You don't need changed, do you, baby Courtney?" Courtney was on all fours now, but pointed high in the air. At Melanie's question, she farted loudly and filled the seat of her jeans. Courtney could feel the warm mess spread throughout her tight jeans, and could hear the laughter and jeers of her classmates, but couldn't do anything but idly watch and listen. Melanie was in control. She made another baby noise as Melanie and another classmate lifted her up onto the changing table. Mrs. Henderson had prepared for the demonstration. "Looks like we can use a real baby," said Melanie. "And I've got big enough diapers for her too. Extra big diapers." She pulled 3 of her mom's punishment diapers from her backpack and displayed them to the class. Each diaper was about 1.5 inches thick at the crotch, pink, and made from the fluffiest material possible, super absorbent and super thick. Melanie slowly removed Courtney's messy jeans and panties, throwing them in the trash. She then slowly and deliberately demonstrated how to fasten the disposable snugly on, and repeated the process 2 more times. The end result had Courtney wearing 3 of Melanie's thickest diapers, and completely under her control. "What's next, Mrs. Henderson?"